Yo, listen up, Rue is stepping up the game, where fantasy Premier League runs in his veins. From transfers to captains, he's always on top, guiding you through every game week non-stop. They say Rue got that Salah flow. Welcome to the channel, enjoy the show. Wildcard's free hits with so much vibe. If you're hunting for success, then make sure you subscribe.
G'day mate, welcome back to the channel. I'm FPL Root and welcome back to another Euro 2024 fantasy video. So in this video, I'm going to be going through the best possible wildcard team you can build for Matchday 2. So basically, a wildcard is, for those of you that don't know, you get to change all your players in your whole squad for absolutely free. A lot of people have been playing the strategy of wildcard Matchday 2, limitless Matchday 3, which is a strategy I'll be playing. So basically, my wildcard would only be for Matchday 2. I don't need to worry about any players in Matchday 3. And so really want to focus on this one Matchday. So we'll go through some of the fixtures first of all. Some of the good teams that I guess that have good fixtures. So Croatia, Albania, that could be a fixture that we want to target because obviously historically Croatia have been a solid team in these tournaments and Albania are one of the weakest in the tournament. But obviously Spain did batter Croatia in Matchday 1, so it is something to consider, but I do think Croatia will kind of turn that around. For Scotland, Switzerland, you got to fancy the Swiss in that one, so maybe a few Swiss players. Denmark, England, tough game for England. Denmark are a decent team, but I do think this game will be open and a lot of goals in it, so potentially some England forwards or England midfielders to target. Germany, Hungary. Hungary looked, to be honest, not good at all against Switzerland in the Matchday 1, and Germany looked really good against Scotland, so potentially a few German players to target. Slovenia, Serbia. I want to kind of stay clear of that game. Same with Spain, Italy, as I think that's an even game. Poland, Austria. You could argue that Austria are the stronger team, but for me, I think you'd probably want to stay clear of that game and not have too many players from either side. Georgia, Czechia, so we haven't seen either of them play yet, but Georgia are one of the lowest teams, kind of ranked teams in the tournament, and if Czechia do want to go through, they're probably going to have to win this game. Belgium, Romania is another good fixture. Belgium are absolutely smashed qualifying. Lukaku was on fire in qualifying. Again, I haven't seen them play in Matchday 1 yet, but you're going to have to fancy Belgium to win that game, so potentially a few Belgian players. Slovakia, Ukraine, probably a tough game to call. I probably do fancy Ukraine just. I do think Ukraine are going to be solid for this tournament. Netherlands, France, I do really want to stay clear of that. That's going to be a tough game to call. Netherlands defensively, yes, they conceded against Poland, but in terms of the defence, look very good. France, yeah, you just don't know if they're going to turn up. They didn't really turn up at the last Euros. Obviously, the World Cup, they got to the final though, so potentially. And Turkey against Portugal, I think that's going to be a tough game for Portugal, but potentially a player or two from their team. Overall, I think the main teams we do want to target is Germany, is Switzerland. You could argue Czechia as well, Belgium, and maybe Portugal. But anyway, let's get on to the full team. So before we do get on to the goalkeepers, I just wanted to say thanks to everyone that has been watching the Euro content. If you haven't subscribed, please make sure you do. It's completely free and it does help out the channel. And smash a like on this video as well. But for the goalkeepers, so I've gone for Jan Sommer and Lunin. So the Swiss goalkeeper Sommer, he does come in at 5 million. And although he didn't keep a clean sheet in Matchday 1, I do think Switzerland are going to keep a clean sheet in Matchday 2 against Scotland. Obviously, Scotland did score against Germany in Matchday 1, but it was an own goal. And to be honest, it didn't look great going forward at all. So for me, I do really like the Swiss going into this Matchday 2, especially with how they looked against Hungary. I think they looked very organised, very good going forward as well. And for me, I just really can't see Scotland causing them any trouble at all. Jan Sommer in the first game only had one shot to save, which is a positive because obviously he wasn't really under threat, but at the same time it was a negative because he didn't get any save points. So, but for me, I can definitely see a clean sheet in this fixture. I've also gone for Lunin. So I think one of the main reasons is obviously he plays on on a different day, match day, a different day of the week, basically. And I do really like this fixture for Ukraine. I think Slovakia are not strong at all, and I think Ukraine are really, really favoured to finish second in this group. And for 4.5 million, I think it's a nice option to go for. There are a few other options, but for me, there are a lot of teams that play each other. Spain, Italy, you've got the Netherlands with France. Yeah, you're kind of struggling to pick, I guess, Portugal against Turkey, which is not the easiest game. England, Denmark, which is going to be an open game, I feel like. So for me, I really like this pick, and I think at 4.5 million, he is a steal. Obviously, again, I haven't seen the Ukraine Matchday 1 game, so who knows, they could turn up and get absolutely battered by Romania. But for now, Lunin is going to be in this team, and at 4.5 million, I think he is a steal. Also, I really do like the Swiss going into Matchday 2. Let me know what you think in the comment section below, and let's get on to the defence. So now we'll move on to the defence, and the first player I do want to speak about, and you might think it's a little bit odd after he's just been banged 3-0 by Spain, is a Croatian defender, and I have gone for Gavardio. He's 5.5 million, and he does have Albania the first game in, well, the Matchday 2 fixture. Yes, I understand that Spain did tear apart Croatia. Croatia didn't look great. But I do think this fixture against Albania is a very, very good one for Croatia. And if they're going to qualify, they're going to have to beat Albania. Sometimes I think in these short tournaments, you got to kind of forget about form a little bit, because it is kind of just a one-off game every time they play. Obviously, Spain are going to be much better than Albania as well. So I do think Croatia will bounce back, and I do think having a defender from their team is a good idea. Obviously, Gavardio, we've seen him in the Premier League get attacking returns as well. He hasn't really done that for Croatia, but there is always a chance. In terms of ball recoveries, he got 2 ball recoveries against Spain. To be honest, I can't see that going any higher against Albania, but I just think he's really, really good value for a clean sheet. Next up is a Belgium defender. Again, I just want to reiterate, I haven't seen the first Belgium game yet. That is going to be after this video is being filmed. So this is a risk, but obviously we can change this to another Belgium defender, like someone like Wildcard, who's only 4.4 million. But I have gone for De Coupe. So he is a wing-back that plays in the Belgium league, and his returns kind of last season for Club Brugge were really, really nice. And I think he's going to start fullback, and if he does start, he is very, very attacking. He's got 10 assists and 3 goals in the Belgian Pro League last season, and for me, I can see him starting, and I can see that Belgian team be very, very exciting. Gone are the days that they have really, really good defenders. For example, Company, Vertonghen, probably still there, Vertonghen, Toby Alderweireld, players like that. But I do think this kid, he's 23, but De Coupe is definitely a nice option at 4.5 million. And that Romania fixture, I think, is going to be one of the best ones for Belgium. And the fact that they're probably going to have to win to qualify again, it's only their second match day. Yeah, I do really, really, really like him as an option. Next up, it's getting a bit boring talking about him, but I just think he is such a good option. And to be honest, I think he's the best defender for the whole group stage. So whether you brought him in Matchday 1, whether you're bringing him in Matchday 2, or wait until Matchday 3, obviously pending Portugal still need a result or something like that. But João Cancelo against Turkey, Portugal defensively just looks so strong. Their whole team looks strong, but defensively they look very, very strong. Yes, their manager is Roberto Martinez, who I guess hasn't been known as a defensive coach. He is very much an attacking coach, but I think that can only help João Cancelo at 6 million. And like I said, he's got Turkey, and we know again from the Premier League that he is so attacking. And to be honest, I can see him doing some damage in this match day. Next up, I've gone for Mittelstadt. So a player I did have for Matchday 1. He's got Hungary. I wasn't going to include too many German players, but after seeing Matchday 1, I know I said you shouldn't really go off Matchday 1 too much, but after seeing the way I guess the German crowd and Germany kind of performed in that game. Yes, they did concede, but I do think they're going to be a strong team this tournament. So that's why I've gone for a German defender. If it was limitless and I had a unlimited budget, I would go for Rudiger. But I do think Mittelstadt is actually a really good option. He's been taking loads of long shots. He's only 4 million as well, which is ridiculous for a German starting defender. And for me, he is in this team just to have coverage of that Germany defence. Also, they play on the first day, so for me, yeah, it's almost like a free hit because I know I can bring in João Cancelo later on in the match day if Mittelstadt doesn't do well. In terms of his performance though against Scotland, he played 90 minutes, obviously conceded a goal, but he got 4 ball recoveries as well, so he ended up on 3 points. So that's definitely good to see that he can get ball recoveries. Next up, I've gone for Kufal, so the West Ham fullback for Czechia. To be honest, it is a bit of a risk going for someone like this when there's obviously defenders from France, the Netherlands that have missed out, England as well. You could even argue Spain or Italy, but for me, I think by playing the wild card in match day 2, you actually get a chance to be a little bit different and almost use it as a chance as a one-off, because it is a one-off for me, because obviously I'm playing limitless in match day 3, so this whole team is only going to be for one match day. And I think Kufal, who we know can be attacking, playing against Georgia and one of the weakest teams in the tournament, I think it could be a really, really nice pick. And yes, it is a risk, but he is 5 million. We know he can be attacking, and I think you have to fancy Czechia in that game over Georgia, and that's why I've gone for him. For West Ham last season, he got 7 assists, which for me is pretty good considering West Ham weren't that good last season. For Czechia, he's only got 1 assist in the qualifying, but in the last Euros, he did end up with 2 assists in 5 games. So I do think he's a very, very nice differential. He's only 1% owned, and if you are playing, I guess, a wild card this game week, then I would be going for someone from Czechia's defence. Let's get on to the midfield. So the midfield was probably one of the toughest positions to pick. I think there are so many good midfield options at the minute, and the fact that I guess Spain, Italy, Netherlands, France, potentially England are out of the picture in this match day, then I actually do think going for a few differentials is a nice option to go for. Having said that though, I have gone for 2 Germany midfielders because I just think that their value is just too good. Musiala, I've gone for 8.5 million. He had an incredible game against Scotland. I know it was only Scotland, but 74 minutes, he got a clean sheet, a goal, 3 ball recoveries, and player of the match. Ended up on 12 points, and for me, he's going to be one of the best players in the tournament. Also, Florian Wirtz I've gone for. Again, not as good as Musiala, but he wasn't on the pitch as long. He got a clean sheet, a goal, 3 ball recoveries, and a goal from outside the box, extra point. So he ended up on 10 points. So again, they're both incredible to be honest, but Musiala probably just edged him. And the fixture, Hungary, obviously they're at home as well, Germany, which I think does make a huge difference. And to be honest, they look very, very good against Scotland, but I would just throw a little bit of caution to the wind. It was just Scotland. Scotland looked terrible. They had 10 men as well. So, yeah, it's a bit of a tough one. But for me, having 2 of them just does give that solid base. Again, it's early on in the match day, so potentially you can just take them out for your other players like De Bruyne that plays later, and Modric that does play later as well. But we'll talk about them anyway. So Kevin De Bruyne, again, I haven't seen the Belgian game or the Ukraine game, to be honest. So I don't know how they're going to line up. But for me, no matter where De Bruyne plays, he's going to be a threat. Some would argue that he hasn't really done it for Belgium, and I completely get that. He hasn't turned up. I personally think he hasn't turned up at tournaments. I think he can do much more than he has. For example, if you just look at his kind of recent record for Belgium. He was obviously injured for the qualifiers, so we can't really look at that. But the World Cup, he played 3 matches, no goals, no assists. In the World Cup qualifiers, you could argue he did okay, 2 goals, 2 assists in 4 matches. In the Euros, he got a goal and 2 assists. So again, not too bad, but you expect more from Kevin De Bruyne. And I think this is the tournament that he's going to kind of have to step up in. I guess, star players like Eden Hazard, Company, Toby Alderweireld, they've gone now. And for me, De Bruyne is probably one of the last ones left. And for him, yeah, it's going to be a massive game against Romania. And I think he's going to perform, to be honest. Next up, we've got Modric. Maybe, to be honest, let me know what you think in the comment section below, but maybe I am over-egging this fixture for Ukraine. I have gone for 2 Ukrainian players. I've gone for, obviously, the goalkeeper in Lunin and then Mikhailo Modric. And obviously, I haven't seen them play yet. I haven't seen their fixture against Romania. But having said that, I do think this is a good fixture for Ukraine. And Slovakia, for me, is again one of the weakest teams in the tournament, and I think Ukraine are going to do, yeah, incredible in this game. 7 million Modric is, he's at 4% owned, so he's still quite a differential. And don't think of his Chelsea days, his Chelsea performances, because Modric for Ukraine is completely different. He actually turns up for them, and to be honest, even towards the end of the season for Chelsea, he didn't do too bad. He ended up on 5 goals, 2 assists in the league, which is not good at all. But for the qualifiers for Ukraine, 2 goals, 2 assists. Even for Shakhtar, he played 12 games in the Ukrainian Premier League. He got 7 goals, 7 assists. So we know he can do it, and I think this is going to be a good tournament for him. And again, I do fancy Ukraine to get out of that group. Next up, in the midfield, I did have Granit Xhaka in here, and I do still have a million spare on this team to bring in Granit Xhaka, and I really did want someone from the Swiss team in terms of attacking wise, because I think they look very, very good. I have gone for Abisha. You could argue that this is very reactionary. Obviously, he got an assist, he got a goal, he got 3 ball recoveries, which is 1 point, and then he got an extra point for goal outside the box. He ended up on 12 points in Matchday 1. And yes, when you look at him, he is a defensive midfielder, but he did play almost as a number 10 right winger in this game in Matchday 1. And for me, I've seen enough to warrant taking a chance on him for 5 million and bringing him in. He's 0% owned. And that Scotland game, I think, is going to be a very good game for Switzerland. Switzerland blew Hungary away, really, and I think they're going to want to finish the job and qualify by beating Scotland, which I think they will do. And yeah, to be honest, I don't hate going for Xhaka just for, I guess, the safety of starts, but I think Abisha starts. Yes, like I said, he's a defensive midfielder. He hasn't shown any goal scoring form in previous tournaments or previous games for his club, but sometimes you get these sort of players at international tournaments, and it's clear that you can see he is playing further forward than his natural position, and he's shown that he can put the ball in the back of the net and he can create chances for his teammates. So for 5 million, yeah, he's straight in my team playing Scotland. Overall, I'm happy with the midfield, but like I said, I do have a million spare, so potentially I could maybe upgrade one of the German spots to someone like Bruno Fernandes. Whether I think, I don't think that's a better fixture though, but just to spread out, I guess, the teams that I'm kind of invested in. Having said that, Hungary didn't look great in that Swiss game, but I know they are a decent team, so for me it's a tough one. But we'll go on to the forwards, and then we'll talk about maybe where I can spend that 1 million. So next up, we do have the forwards, and I guess I have gone with 2 of the template options. I've gone for Harry Kane. I do still think he is a good option against Denmark. I know he didn't score against Serbia, and to be honest, he should have scored with that bullet header he had kind of towards the latter end of the second half, I think it was. But to be honest, I think Denmark are going to be much more open than Serbia. I feel like Denmark have very good kind of attacking talent in terms of Eriksson. They've got Højlund. Højberg also plays quite further forward for Denmark rather than where he plays for Spurs, which is a bit more, I guess you could say, defensive. But yeah, I do think England are going to score a few in that game, and Denmark are going to need to win that game, I think, or at least get a draw. So, because they did drop points against Slovenia, it's a tough one because you could argue that there are better forwards with better fixtures. You could argue Cristiano Ronaldo against Turkey is a better forward with, well, not a better forward, but does have a better fixture. You could argue that even Mbappe against the Netherlands, probably France are going to be more attacking than England, but I do feel like there's going to be goals in this game. It is the middle game of the group stage. I do think Denmark are going to attack England, and I think England are going to pick them off and score a few goals in this one. So that's why I have gone for Harry Kane. Lukaku I've gone for as well, which is the same as my Matchday 1 team against Romania. Again, I haven't seen Lukaku play because this has been filmed before the Belgium game, but I just think him at international level is so good. I've said it multiple times throughout my videos, but his international record, his record in qualifying was very, very, very good. And I think Romania are, again, one of the weakest teams, especially in that group. And for me, I think Lukaku can get a few goals in this game, so that's why I've gone for him in that one. A bit of a wild card in the wild card. I've gone for Patrick Schick, so the Czechia forward. Again, you might think that I've gone a bit too heavy on the Czechia players, considering I haven't seen them play yet, but obviously I can adjust that once I have seen them play. So let me know what you think in the comment section below. Do you think I have gone a bit heavy on that? But I've gone for Patrick Schick, 7 million. He's played his game against Portugal, which I haven't seen yet, obviously, because this has been filmed before that. We've seen him do it at international level. For example, in the World Cup, in the Euros, he got 5 goals in 5 games. In the Euro qualifiers, he's got 4 goals in 6 games. And for Leverkusen last year, he didn't really play that much in the Bundesliga. He played 20 matches, he got 7 goals. Europa League, he got 5 goals in 9 matches. So he's still scoring goals, and he is, for me, very, very clinical. He probably didn't get, well, still, obviously, there's still time for him, but he probably didn't get that big move. I know he's just won the Bundesliga, so you can say I sound like a bit of an idiot saying that, but he obviously played for Sparta Prague, then he went to Sampdoria, then Roma, then Leipzig, and then now Bayer Leverkusen. And he has really smashed it for them, but he never really got that Premier League move, I'd say, or even the big La Liga club move. But he scored goals everywhere, and for 7 million, I think playing Georgia, I honestly think this could be one of the differentials of Matchday 2. I think Czechia plays in general, but I definitely think Patrick Schick, to have someone that has scored 5 goals at the Euros in 5 games before, I think is an absolute steal at 7 million, and I think against Georgia could be a very, very good pick. But you could argue that I have gone a bit heavy on the Czechia, on the Ukraine players. I've got 2 of each. I've also got 3 German players, considering before the tournament started, I would say this is probably one of their hardest games against Hungary. Also got 3 Belgian players, when I don't think Belgium are that great. I just think they've got really good, I guess, individual players and a really good fixture. And again, I've got 2 Swiss, but I'm more than happy with that. I'd like to know what you think in the comment section below of this wildcard draft. And let me know if you're playing a wildcard. Smash a like, subscribe to the channel, and good luck for the match day.